Oh boy. How are we? Good to see ya. Cleared my throat for the start of the show. It is the Josh Potter Show. Welcome one, welcome all. And I want to remind you, tickets are on sale for all the shows that I've got posted up on Instagram at Josh_Potter, at J_Potter on Twitter. And you can find me in Pottstown, PA, the 20th and the 21st. You've got me out in old Las Vegas in September 29th through October 1st. That's Skankfest. We're going backwards, kind of. And then August 6th, that's on Sunday. We've got a big show. Me, Johnny Pemberton, Sarah Wineshank, Kim Congdon, all at the Nitecap here in Burbank doing a fun extemporaneous type show. The crowd decides what we talk about. So I hope you can join us for that. August 6th is the date for that bad boy. Again, Sunday night. And today, we have a wonderful starlet of stage and screen. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Silvia Saige, of course, the host of the Sexy Funny Raw podcast.
Yes.
I got the words in the right order, right?
You did.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's important to say them in the right order. Now, we have to go by the nice boy clock here for the first 10 minutes, so we can't get too sexy and raw.
Got it.
And some would argue even funny.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Be as basic as possible in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, what do you do in your first 10 minutes? Or do you just say, money be damned? We aren't going to monetize this show.
On my podcast?
Yeah.
I honestly don't monetize my podcast.
Because of that.
My podcast is a sex education podcast. I've never even attempted to monetize my podcast.
Wow. And I'd imagine it'd probably be difficult, despite it being education. Because as we've heard from Dr. Drew and people like that, no matter the context, they just hear a word.
Yeah.
And they go, ch-ch. Like, I mean, we're discussing it now in the Nice Boy Clock, but Ryan Sickler does a podcast where women come on and tell their tales of, well, I think you could put two and two together. And just because of that, they're like, well, that's about this, and they cut it off.
Yeah.
You know that? Isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
so I was curious about that, but you don't even monetize, so they're like, hell, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
That's pretty fun.
Yeah. The reason I don't is, I mean, I've reached out to other sponsors before, and I had some sponsors, but they really want to control what I was doing on my show, who my guests were, and things of that nature. And I was like, absolutely not.
They're like, we'll take Miss Silvia Saige,
yeah,
knowing what she's doing, but we're going to have a little something to say about the others. Like, who would they possibly turn down?
Well, the people that I had at the specific time, they were more gay friendly, and so they wanted to make sure I had at least a gay guest on each time.
Oh, you had a quota?
Yeah, I had a quota.
Every single time?
Every single time, yeah.
My, oh my.
And I thought that was strange because, for one, I don't consider myself to be bi, but I think that the rest of the world would, considering my job. And my co-host at the time was a gay man. So I thought, well, we do have gay on every single
this
show.
Count? Yeah, exactly. I technically do too, unless Alix doesn't want me to. Yeah,
no, you're good.
Okay. I didn't know if I was like, hey, so I'm hitting my quotas over here. Whatever that sponsor is, come on board. You know, we've got one. So that's pretty cool. But what else do you guys talk? You talk about sex education. So
yeah, so we do everything.
Now, is that like health class type stuff, or are we talking like
it's a little bit of both?
This is how you do it.
Yeah, because I have a doctor on the show with me. I have a PhD who I can't really discuss all of his other jobs, or he would probably get fired for doing my show.
I was going to say, I thought it was something where you're like, he's got a PhD. We don't talk about where it's from.
Well, we kind of don't,
okay,
because if the hospital he worked for knew what he did, they could fire him. So.
Wild. So, I mean,
yeah.
But this is on the internet.
It is, yeah. And I know his colleagues know of the show, but I guess if the hospital were going to do anything.
It seems like a risky business for your pal.
Yeah, but he's also looking to move hospitals as well.
Okay,
so
okay.
It's not like, not
but
life or death.
He talks more of the clinical side of things, and then you talk more of the
experience side
of things. That's a good way to put it. I was going to say either enjoyment but experience makes a lot more sense because it doesn't always necessarily entail that, probably.
Yeah, we call it my pornspective.
Pornspective.
Yeah.
And does it ever come into play where somebody asks a certain advice where your pornspective is actually sort of novice? Do you know what I'm saying? Like where actual...
I mean, yes, there's definitely times of that, but there's definitely times where my experience is not what the doctors would suggest. I may give a suggestion where they're like, absolutely not. So it can go really either way.
Can you give me an example?
Well, like in the industry, they kind of, I wouldn't say promote, but suggest douching with a water douche just to cleanse out a woman's like uterus before. I'm trying to be as PG as possible
you're doing great.
with my words.
We can definitely say uterus.
Okay,
and
great.
I'm sure douche. I mean, even at its worst context, douche is like a 7th grade word.
Okay,
right?
great. Yeah. I'm really struggling with words because I'm
you're doing
great.
So the industry, they say, take the water. They want you to go and douche things. And then the medical doctors
says, do not do that.
Yeah, I've heard that. And is that because of the chemicals in them?
So basically, because a woman's uterus is self-cleansing, they don't want any extra things going in there and washing out bacteria that may be essential to a woman, because we have good and bad bacteria down there.
It's like a dog's mouth.
Yeah. So
I never knew that.
But when we do it on a porn set, we kind of rinse it so it's like, we say like it's a clean shine instead of having like a milkier substance.
Ooh, okay. Yeah. So is milky bad?
No, milky is normal. Milky is not bad, but we take it away. Is clear bad? It's not necessarily bad. It's a very aesthetically pleasing, but it's not necessarily natural.
And I'm going to be infringing on the nice boy clock here with my next follow-up question, but we're deep enough into it.
Yeah.
I'm going to make an error because I have to ask. There's a distinct difference I've noticed. There's the creamers and then the ones that get very wet. Creamers is a very caveman-esque term, but you know what I'm saying?
It really just depends on where the woman is in her cycle for the month on how creamy she's going to be.
Yeah.
It's very much physics, and
I thought there was just women with that certain type and then another. I didn't know it was
You catch her on a certain day,
okay. Yeah. I just thought some had creamier aspects than others. That's
different times of the month. Absolutely.
Okay, so it's within the woman's cycle. That's interesting. Okay, that's a good example of something. Now, I've seen some of other podcasts, like your competitors, I guess you would say, where they do like an interview and then they have sex afterwards.
Yes. Yes.
Have you thought about this, or does that make booking even tougher? Because I mean, if I were to book this show on everyone I wanted to have sex with, I'd have a couple of shows, but not many.
I mean, it'd be pretty easy for me. I'm not going to lie. But honestly, I've been in porn for 9 years, almost a full decade at this point, and I have had sex with thousands of people. I'm kind of over having sex with so many people.
Yes.
I really just kind of keep my vagina to myself and my few select friends at this point.
Is it exciting to have repeats then?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're like, oh, thank God I'm working with this person again.
Oh, yeah.
I've been there, so I don't have to add a number.
I guess it's not adding a number.
Right, no, you're not, because you've already slept with that person.
Yeah, okay, perfect.
Or worked with them, I should say.
I mean, my numbers, I quit long time ago. I have no idea where they're at. I couldn't even ballpark you if I tried.
I mean, hell, I'm having sex with probably like 100th or 1,000th, actually, of people you've had sex with, and I can't keep track. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
After 20, it's like, why are we counting?
Yeah.
It almost gets sadder in the real world as it gets bigger as you get older.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I remember I was in my early 20s and I kept a list of all the men for a long time.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then I quit.
Is this when you worked or when you...
Oh, no. This is just me being in my 20s.
Oh, yeah. Like in your diary you kept... Yes, okay.
Yeah, I would keep a notepad of the guys. But then I realized that I had gone to, instead of names, it would just be like guy in red shirt from Clancy's. And I was like, oh, yeah, the list has got to be gone now. I don't need anybody finding this list and being like, this whore.
That's so funny. Yeah, because if they come across, I mean, you're from Kansas City.
Yeah.
And I mean, Kansas City's a pretty big city.
It's a small, big town.
Yeah, it's really. But it's large enough. But I mean, I don't know how big the list you were keeping was. And the end of it, they're like, this is like the entire county.
I mean, and some people's husbands, so it's like, light it up.
I wouldn't write those ones down. You know what I mean? You don't want to document those ones.
Yeah.
Is it weird? I mean, I've slept with wives.
Yeah.
And I always come away from it going like, am I that guy? Like, I feel bad in certain scenarios if most of the time I don't know.
Yeah. I feel bad for my ones back in the day. But now the married men I sleep with, if I do, sorry, but their wives know. So now I'm in like more
Right.
like open situations. But when I was in my 20s, I was just a bad person and I just didn't care.
That seems more common. I mean,
Yeah.
I just was living in a smaller city, and then that would happen from time to time. And I'm like, am I just a weird... Sometimes I felt like I was doing a good service.
You are
because
kind of
it's
doing a
like,
good service.
The woman would be like, I just need something weird.
Yeah.
And then they would sleep
different.
with me, and then they would go like, all right, I'm going back to my life. That was...
Got my
Oh
fill.
boy, I saw the other side, and
Yeah.
I'm not going down that road. Yeah, so I mean, I would just assume that I was doing them a favor, you know.
Helping out their marriage. It was very
Yeah,
sweet
at the end of
you.
the I go, listen, if your wife wants to sleep with me, she's probably going to come away with it really being thinking she's blessed to be married to you.
I'm not going to lie. I think if people were more honest and had better communication, we would have a lot more open marriages and we would have a lot happier marriages because of it.
Yeah, it's just I try to like be evolved when I think about that. I'm not married nor have I been in a serious relationship
Neither
for
am
a
I.
little while. So I look at it like if I were to fall for somebody and marry them, I think I might have a hard time with it, you know?
With staying
And
monogamous?
that's because I'm saying if they were to be like, listen,
Step
I
outside.
want to fuck Ralph
Got
over
it.
here. Is that cool? And I still love you and everything like that. It would like take a lot for me to come along, I think. Like I
Yeah.
would want to. I wish I was that evolved.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But I don't know that I would be able to like handle myself.
I
It's more of an insecurity about myself than it is about anything else.
Yeah, I can see that. But a lot of people have a hard time like separating sex from emotion. And I do not have that. So I
True.
can very much compartmentalize sex.
It's weird because I can do that with myself. I know that I could sleep with somebody without
Right.
emotion.
Mm-hmm.
But it's weird when it's upon somebody. Like, I can't take it away from somebody else. Do you know what I
Right.
mean? Even though they're doing it. It's like emotionally fucking me up.
Yeah, I feel that.
I saw the movie. What movie was it? With Diane Lane and Richard Gere. Unfaithful.
I
Do you
don't
recall
know
that
it.
movie?
Mm-mm.
It's so hot. Diane Lane fucks this like French guy who works in a library, and she's just like fucking him in
I
bathroom
think I
stalls.
have. I think I have. And it's like, yeah, they meet up random places, right?
Yes, and they
Yeah.
fuck like in bathrooms and in
Affairs
like the
are hot.
subway and stuff. And you're like, oh my god, the movie is so hot.
Yeah.
But I had this like guilt for Richard Gere,
Aw.
and I'm like in my brain. I don't know. I was like 16 when I saw it or something.
Yeah.
In my brain, it like warped me into being like, this is so hot, but I'm so fucked up over it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, affairs are very sexy. I think that's why they're so appealing.
Yeah,
is
sure.
they're hot.
They're more
sneaky. Yeah, they're sneaky and they're hot and they're fun and they kind of distract you. You know,
Yeah.
like I get it. I 100% get it, and I know why it's like a, you know, it's a thing. It's a fetish for
It
sure.
is, yeah. No, it's definitely something. And it like fucks me up in a way where I go like, oh god, it's so fucked up, but I think it's like so hot.
Of course it is.
It's so crazy. But sexy, funny, raw, that is something that Chris Angel tries to describe himself as. Have you watched Chris Angel lately?
I haven't lately. No. But
I
that's
didn't-
the
have you lived
magician,
in
right?
Vegas? Yes, it is.
Yes, I have lived in Vegas. Yeah.
So now I went to Vegas last weekend.
Hotter
and-
than balls, right?
Oh my god! But thankfully you're like a hamster in tubes, so you never have to feel the elements.
Yeah.
But I did go see Chris Angel. Annie had her birthday, Annie Letterman, and she called her manager and was like, "Get me 18 tickets to Chris Angel," and he did it. And we laughed and laughed and laughed. It was so fun. But then we went to the show, and you know, in your brain, you're like, "Okay, Chris Angel, this is gonna be like cheesy and weird," and it was.
Yeah.
And it made me laugh harder than any comedy show.
Because it was so cheesy?
Oh my god, he's so cheesy. It's like he's 55.
Yeah.
He's still the same like emo haircut and everything, which is cool by me because I'm the same way. Like
I was
if
going
I
to
had
say
that hair,
55 is like hat age for me, so I'm not
No,
don't
no,
say
no.
like that's old or something.
I'm not saying that
Okay.
it's old. I'm just
Okay.
saying like the shit that he's doing though. It's like, let's go. Like it's like rock starry shit. And I get what he's trying to do, but it's like we're sitting down. It's a magic show. You know what I
Right.
mean? I'm like, he's like, come on, get up, and you're like, just pull
Do
the
the
rabbit out of
magic.
the hat,
Yeah.
dude, or just make something disappear. But then he gets like so like crazy. Like there's like a sexy one where he's like making out with all the girls in the thing, and like I'm like, what's the magic here?
Yeah,
man? You know
that's just him trying to make out with.
And it's like this choreographed make out and simulated sex thing.
Interesting.
Wild. And I'm like, this has nothing to do with it. Then all he does is like make a girl go from one box to another box or whatever, and he just makes out with her at both boxes.
Oh.
It was so wild. And then he does a thing where he brings people on stage, right? And he's calling out people in the crowd. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm trying not to be skeptical, but these are like definitely plants.
Right.
And he's like talking about the black woman in a way that was like cringy. Like I'm not like a woke person by any, but he's like, how about the brown sugar over here? And we're all like, Chris Angel, Jesus, man.
Oh, wow.
And then he's asking her crazy shit about being black.
Wow.
And at one point he's like, make your serious face. He's going around to all the girls because he's doing some bullshit with like a handheld camera. And he goes to the black lady. She makes her serious face. He goes, more like cell block face. And he looks at the crowd and we're all like, Chris Angel, what are you doing? It's like so wildly.
Yeah.
And then he starts talking about the troops and stuff. So you're like, okay, I see what's going on here. Chris Angel. He's reading a couple things on the internet probably at this point. But it was just an uncomfortable, like the girl I was with was like cringing. And the two women that he brought on stage.
I feel like that's not the audience for Vegas either.
Well, here's the thing. I thought about it. And it kind of is.
Is it?
Yeah.
Maybe.
A lot of trucker hats were in the crowd.
Yeah, you might be right.
A lot of, you know what I mean? Like a lot of shirts that have a lot of words on them.
Yeah. I'm just thinking of like the
Freedom's
Christian right ring. And I'm like, well, my mom would never go to Vegas.
Oh, that's interesting.
So,
yeah.
That's where I was going. But I guess the gun toting
yes,
are still going.
Yeah. There's a fraction of everybody in there.
Yeah, you're right.
And then, the crazy part, though, is he asked these women, what's your biggest fear? Now, if Chris Angel asked you that, what comes to your top of your mind? Like, as personally, like your biggest fear?
Oh, God. I don't even know. I don't fear a whole lot if I'm being
sure. But like...
That's a really hard question.
Because if they asked me that, I'd be like...
Heights?
Dying alone? How are you going to do that one, Chris Angel? You're going to put a hex on me? You know what I mean? Like, that would be the first thing I thought of. You would say heights, which is interesting because it's like, what's he going to do? Put you on top of the Strat?
Right.
So, like, these people say spiders and clowns. I'm like, that is the hackiest answers.
Yeah.
Those are plants. Because they were all women, too. Like, the girl I was with, she even goes, she's like, what if one of them said rape? What's he gonna? Because he made like a spider really come out and a clown come out.
Most of us have had it. We don't fear it anymore. Just ready for it at all times.
But the way she said it made me laugh when she said it. I was like, yeah, he's gonna make that come out of the computer screen or whatever, like he did the spider. It was crazy. It's just like
all set up.
Yeah, it was so cheesy, and it was like there were people there that were like, oh, and you're like, man, I wish I just had their brain for like. Give me their brain for one day.
Yeah, be excited by little things like that. Would be nice.
When you were in Vegas, did you go watch any of those?
So, of course.
That was my first one like that I've ever seen. I've never usually gamble and
I've seen a lot of shows just because when I lived there, people would always come to visit. And so part of my thing was if you come hiking with me, I'll go do something in Vegas with you.
Oh.
So, I would go see a lot of shows.
Awesome. Which ones stand out?
All the Cirque shows are
Cirque ones are
fucking
crazy,
amazing. I've seen regular Cirque. I've seen water Cirque. They're incredible.
There's, I think it's the Mandalay Bay. Every time I've gone there, they have a Michael Jackson thing.
Yeah, I've seen the Michael Jackson show
It's
too.
called the Michael Jackson Experience.
Yeah, I've seen it.
What is the Michael Jackson Experience?
So they have, oh my gosh, what's it called where it's like projected, like the person is like there?
A hologram.
Hologram, yes. So they have a hologram of him performing all of his dances, and then there's backup dancers. And it's like, it looks real. I've seen
That's
it.
crazy.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be like you get to live his life for a day or something, and you're walking around Neverland
touching children.
Ranch. Yeah, you're licking Wade Robson's butthole, and then you get a little midazolam for your night off.
Yeah.
I'd love to be that fit. Because, like, I actually, when that happened, when he died from the midazolam or whatever, I kind of was like, I get why he's doing that. Because if you think about like performing on stage, even for like a bar full of people, you come off of it with a bit of an adrenaline juice.
Oh God, yeah.
You're just on a high.
Yeah.
So now imagine you're doing the O2 Arena.
Yeah, true.
On a daily basis, like stuff like that, like huge arenas in front of millions, maybe. Millions is crazy, but like tens of thousands of people. I mean, he can't. When could he sleep?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, you're right.
So I would need the fucking hospital to come
Yeah.
put me to bed after that. Are you kidding me?
I
So I
agree.
kind of saw that and I was like, I get why he's doing that, but this guy got a little too, wonky with the dosages.
Yeah, I thank God I'm an alcoholic and drug addict every day after a show. I'm like, I would never sleep if it weren't for these things.
Oh yeah, I drink 1,000 beers and then just like, I can't wait to just
I like
sleep till
tank
4.
whiskey. Like I don't like
yeah?
to drink before my set, but I'll take a drink on stage with me because 3 drinks in, I'm slurring my words.
How long have you been doing comedy again?
11 years.
I was just curious. Oh wow, 11 years. That's
Yeah.
crazy. I didn't know because I just was curious because I will drink before I go on stage. I don't.
Do you? No, I have. I certainly have, but I slur my words. And
I see.
I know I do, and it gets really hard to understand me. So it's for the crowd.
I
more
find
than
that there
anything.
is some like Foster Brooks aspect to it too, though. You could go up there and be a little, hey, what's up? If they're like, oh, they're really on one tonight.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I just was curious because I was like, yeah, I just stopped. I think after pandemic, I stopped caring about like, I would be like, no beers till after the show.
Yeah.
Now I fucking shotgun one on the stage.
Nice.
Half the time because I'm like, we're gonna die, folks. Let's have fun. But I only brought up Chris Angel because he comes up in our sports today, and so we'll get into
what
the
is he in
section.
sports for?
Oh, wait till you hear.
Beep 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 dee 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 doo.
So, Chris Angel, the other funny thing that he kind of did, it's not really that funny, but it's cool that he does this.
Yeah.
But he has a pediatric cancer foundation,
Okay.
and he does like a commercial for it in
Okay.
the thing. But it's so weirdly placed because it's like we just watched you be like, reality isn't real and all this shit. But no matter how much money he raises, he can't seem to make pediatric cancer disappear. So it's like kind of like, well, we're back to Earth, Chris. Thanks for bringing us back.
So real.
It was just kind of weird. It was like, all right, so magic's not real. If only you could put that in the box. Anyhow, Chris Angel's in the news, though, because Jim Irsay is the owner of the Colts.
Okay.
And I don't know if you ever heard about him. He is a character. He's probably the most eccentric owner in the NFL.
Okay.
Like if your owner was doing this, you would be so nervous about your franchise on a daily basis. But he's, gotten DUIs. He's, been caught like taking pills and shit like that. But he's
So he's
like,
a white guy.
yeah, he's a white old guy. They're
Yeah.
all doing it, but
Yeah.
he's just letting it spill over a little
Right.
more than the most of it. He's a white guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah.
The fact that he has all this and still owns a team, I know he's white.
He's I would love to chill with Jim Irsay because he's like, he collects all these guitars and he plays like, he plays music, but he's like a big rock fan.
Okay.
So he collects all these guitars and then he like does a benefit where he just plays the songs with the guitars. I mean, hey.
And people are just
like,
listen.
good job, Jim.
Yeah.
They're just there to like.
Yeah. Nobody likes it when someone brings out a guitar at a party. Almost never. Unless
And
you're like,
that's how you know you're rich, though.
yeah.
Is if you can do that at your
Force
party.
your
They're all
friends.
like, oh, thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
I mean, one time where it was cool, I was at Whitney Cummings' house for a party, and Natasha Bedingfield like took out a guitar.
That's different.
Yes.
Yeah.
But even still, we're like, so we're just gonna watch her.
Yeah,
sing
we're just
now?
here for the concert now.
Yeah.
Like, can we still talk?
But then
or-
Pocket Full of Sunshine comes on, and you're in.
Yeah, of
you're
course.
locked in.
Yeah.
But so Jim Irsay is a bit of a loose cannon.
Okay.
And so right now, training camp has started for all the NFL teams.
Yes.
And many running backs are finding themselves kind of shut out of the market. Like, people are not valuing the position anymore, not giving them the money that they think they deserve. Is there a position in adult films where you would say has been marginalized over the last couple of years?
That's a funny way to put between a running back and a porn position. I mean, I think reverse cowgirl is very underrated because it's how you break most penises.
Interesting.
yeah.
So they've eliminated it from.
No, it still exists, but it should be eliminated.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see. You're saying that
Yeah.
that should be gone.
Yeah.
So the person that is very accelerated at reverse cowgirl, they could someday see their job dwindle if in fact they do eliminate it.
Yeah.
Interesting. Is there anybody who specializes in
I don't think anybody
specifically-
that specializes in that specifically. There's more like...
I wondered if you guys got down to those, like, if you were doing like your Madden score.
There are like anal queens who are like, they're known for doing like 2 or 3 penises in their asses. Like that's Like there are girls who are known for that. I am not that
Golly.
girl.
Yeah.
You're not the girl.
It's not the quantity.
Yeah.
It's the quality.
Right.
I'm curious. I was just curious though, like if you were to in the NFL football game Madden,
Yeah.
you know, you get attributes, you know, like stamina, endurance, blah blah blah, and they rank them by like out of 100.
Yeah.
What would your 99 be?
What is the one you can like let go of?
No, your 99 would be like your top,
The
attribute. So like if you were to do
Sorry, I don't play Madden. But
no,
I'm
that's
trying
okay.
To,
I was trying
to
to
get the
explain
analogy.
it
Yeah.
better. Yeah. So like in Madden, it would be like a running back. His speed is like 95, 99.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So, like, the
a
most
catch,
important.
Receivers. Yeah, the thing that you would say is your top one if you had to rank all your things.
You would have to have a lot of no fuckery given.
What's that mean?
Because the whole world is going to think you're a giant piece of shit and tell you that every single day.
Oh, I see.
So
I
you
see.
just got to put up a meter of no fucks or you'll kill yourself.
Okay,
So,
I see. So
yeah.
that's your 99.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about if we were to just do it for specific physical
Okay.
attributes?
Okay.
Like positions. Or,
Yeah.
Like, okay, that's great. I'm so happy that that's your 99. That's great. I'm pleased. But if we were to break it down,
Stamina.
okay.
Yeah, that's definitely up there because we are on a porn set for a good 16 hours, but you're having sex for usually a good 25 is the bare minimum that anyone will require. And then it's 35, 45 to an hour of sex.
And that gets edited.
Yeah.
So it's always a little bit less probably.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
yeah.
So you got to do a little more is what I mean.
Yes. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Stamina's a great one to have.
Yeah.
And the first one you mentioned, obviously very important.
Very important.
I need to build mine up. Mine's at a 62 as far as that goes. Mostly, actually, I'll tell you this, just to clarify on that. Mine's not so much the outside world that makes me feel that way. It's the
Inside world?
Yeah. My inside world
You would
attribute's
never
like a
survive
50.
in porn. Actually, you might because you're a man. So for men in porn, it's like the whole world's like, you're the boss. And
Interesting.
then it's
okay.
the complete
yeah, but
opposite
I
for
have
women.
that. I mean, I'm not saying that the whole world's saying I'm the boss, but I mean, people are kind to me and they say nice things.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't resonate.
It doesn't matter because the inside me is the thing that's bad. So I don't know if it would help or not. But the reason Jim Irsay's come up again, and I wish I had even half the inside brain Jim Irsay has, because he gets out of pocket. He loves Twitter. He loves to tweet. And all the people reported to camps, the running backs are being marginalized. There's a great running back on the Indianapolis Colts, Jonathan Taylor.
Okay.
He just recently was like the best running back in the NFL. He is about to come up for a contract after the season. And he was like, doing the old song and dance where he's like, I'm not letting it distract me. We'll deal with it when it comes up.
Right.
But Jim Irsay basically tweeted one day, if I die, no one will care. The NFL will move on. If Jonathan Taylor doesn't play football, no one will care. The NFL will move on. And everyone's like, okay.
Yikes.
That's a little fucked up. Like a couple too many whiskeys
Yeah.
there, Jim Irsay. What are
Yeah.
you doing? And
You know
Jonathan,
when a tweet sounds like a good idea and you're like, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a good idea.
they won't know what I really mean.
Yeah.
And then you're just blatant about it. You try to subtweet that one person, but it's so specific. They're like, what are you tweeting about me for? But anyhow, so he tweets this. And I'm going to tie this all into Chris Angel. Don't worry.
Okay.
So he won't give Jonathan Taylor the contract he's looking for. I guess they've already come to negotiations and they're very separated in where they are going to be. And so Jonathan Taylor has requested a trade. Now, this is bad for the Indianapolis Colts. This is a great player that they're going to lose. And everybody's like up in arms about it. But Colts fans, do not fret, because Jim Irsay tweeted this as well. He says, yes, the rumor is true that the Houdini of our time, the amazing Vegas magician Chris Angel, will be joining the show on September 8th. Break Houdini's record of 150-foot free fall, tied up and chained in Lucas Oil Stadium for a one-time performance. September 8th, 8:15 p.m. Indianapolis. More details to come. This free show. Sign up now for your ticks. By the way, that's the longest tweet I've ever seen in my life. Elon Musk needs to chill. They got to go back to 140 characters. This is crazy. But he's spending this money to get Chris Angel to come.
To do a performance.
He's going to break Houdini's record of the free fall. I saw Chris Angel do a free fall of not as 150. I mean, this is a very much larger free fall than he did on his own stage.
Yeah.
But he did do one. And he also was in a straitjacket, and they spun him around, and he came out of it and then appeared in the chair in front of me.
Oh.
But I saw him walk in. I swear. He was in the row ahead of me. And he walked by me, and I go, who's this asshole coming to the show now?
Oh, my God.
And then he sits
hilarious.
down, and the spotlight comes on, and it's Cringe Angel. He's like,
Oh, my God.
Freak. Would we get in trouble if I played the Mind Freak sound?
Probably not.
Because I want that. I don't know why. Can we get the Mind Freak sound for the future?
Mm-hmm.
All right, good. Yeah, I'm going to get the Mind Freak button. But it was so weird, too, when he appeared in front of me.
You mean walked in front of you?
Yeah, he walked. Yeah, appeared. Yeah. He walked in front of me. But we knew something was up because that seat was open the whole time. And my friend, who was like 2 seats over from that, was trying to sit there so they were closer to us. And like, you can't, that's not your seat. And he's like, okay. But then no one came, and we're like, what the fuck?
It would have been better for me if you wouldn't have seen him walk in, but you would have seen him like crawl in, like trying to hide. And then like you still see him.
Annie was like down the row, so she didn't see him walk in. And she goes, was that crazy? Was there like a trap door? I'm like, there's no trap door. He walked down the row like a fucking guy who was showing up late, like he was going to get a beer or something.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it was I was like, a trap door? What are you talking about? Oh, my Lord. But so Cringe Angel's going to do this free fall at Lucas Oil Field. And Chris actually tweeted as well. He goes, I'm honored to be asked by my dear friend Jim Irsay. These two look like they would get along famously, by the way.
I'm sure.
Jim Irsay and Cringe Angel. He's going to attempt, he says, I will attempt to beat Houdini's record of escaping a regulation straitjacket while hanging upside down for a beautiful cause. Live in front of 60,000 strong. I love you, Jim. Look at that.
Wow.
I just thought it was weird that in the middle of probably his most important commodity, Jonathan Taylor, he's very much celebrating this whole Cringe Angel thing. So I gave you a preview of what's to come on September 8th.
So excited.
Get ready.
Can't wait.
Maybe he'll make out with his assistants and then make very cringy black jokes.
I'm sure
while
he'll
he's
get
on
some
stage.
scandals very soon if that's what's going on.
I don't think he's going to have any
shows.
scandals.
No?
I think everyone's just like, all right, Cringe Angel. Like, you wouldn't know. He would be timeless, honestly, because, like, I remember seeing him when I'm a little kid. He's like 20 years older than me. So that means, like, when I was 7, he was only, like, 20. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I remember seeing him then, and he's been doing this shit since the 80s.
For sure.
So now it's almost like, Cringe Angel, you're a dad.
Yeah.
And
he
he
a
is a
dad?
dad.
Is he?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And so you're like, you're just a dad now.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, the flames and everything. It's like, all right, Cringe Angel. You know, it's kind of like, it's not edgy anymore. It's like weird. And you're like, all right, dad.
I just think of like Nate Bargatze. Isn't his dad, or is it? Yeah, it's Nate Bargatze whose dad's a clown, right?
His dad's a clown,
or a
yeah.
magician or whatever
Yeah.
it is. Yeah, and I just think of that, you know, and you're like, it was only cool till you're like 13, you know, and then you're like, I don't
I
want
guess
my
that's
dad.
the thing with Cringe Angel too,
Yeah.
because then it's like for edgelords back in the day. Do you know what I mean? Where you're like, he does magic, but it's like edgy. He's like eating razors. Oh, that's the other thing. He like ate razors, and the camera's real close on his mouth, and he was doing like pussy eating. Like he's like,
Right, yeah.
You're like, all right, dude, just eat the razor, man. That's edgy enough. We don't need like the tongue motions and all of that.
God.
So look out for Cringe Angel.
Yeah.
I just went on a Cringe Angel tear. I'm sorry that you had
It's
to be
okay.
here for that.
I'm just thinking about his colon and those razors. That just seems like, you know.
He ate them
rough.
and then he just pulls them out. You know, like
Oh, he brings them back.
yeah, he
Okay.
brings them back up. But
Okay,
he
good.
puts like a scope, one of those things you kind of like, you know, if you had a medical problem, you got to
Yeah.
scope it out. He puts a scope down his esophagus,
Oh.
and you see the razors in his stomach. But it's also like, I'm there with like people who produce films and stuff like that. And they're like,
right.
that was a terrible I mean, that doesn't
Okay.
even look like
Okay.
it's going into.
Okay.
So they were.
Okay.
There was a lot of we were poking holes in the
Okay.
whole thing, but
Okay, good.
guy sells out every night. So
Yeah.
God bless him.
Yeah.
Today's Josh Potter Show is brought to us by the fine folks at DoorDash, and right now it's back to school time, and that means some serious food cravings. That's right, kids, going back to college. Mom's not going to be able to make you food anymore since you've been home all summer. And right now, whether you and your friends want midnight mozzarella sticks, because you can do that now. mom and dad aren't around. Or you're on a roll with studying and you don't have time to hit the old dining hall, DoorDash has you covered. And right now you can get back to school savings you really want and get unlimited free DoorDash deliveries with the Dash Pass. It's just $4.99 a month for students. How worth it is it? It's so worth it. It's unbelievably worth it. And giving the students a little bit of a edge there in the pocketbook, that's nice. Study more and party more. Whatever you do with your newfound free time, it's totally up to you. And for a limited time, you'll be able to get 50% off up to $10 on your next order of $15 or more when you sign up for the Dash Pass student plan and enter code JoshPotterBTC. That's BTC for back to college. Remember, 50% off up to $10 on your next order of $15 or more when you sign up for the Dash Pass student plan and enter that code JoshPotterBTC. Don't forget that's code JoshPotterBTC for 50% off when you sign up for the Dash Pass student plan. Subject to change. Terms apply. Do you know Alix Earle?
I do. I don't know her personally. I know of her.
You know of her. I don't know her personally.
Yeah.
Either.
Okay. I was like, not personally.
She is dating a wide receiver for the Miami Dolphins, I believe is
Good
what
for
team he's on now.
her.
Braxton Berrios. Can we see Braxton Berrios here?
Good for her. She's so hot. I love her so much.
So hot.
Yeah.
And
good
there's
for
Braxton
them.
Berrios.
I would watch that sex tape any day.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's Braxton Berrios.
I don't know anything about him. He looks like he has a camel toe, though.
He is all right. He's like a slot receiver. He's fast. He probably has a camel toe. So that means that's a good thing for a guy to have, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's your speed, this guy, right? This is your cup of tea.
That is not my cup of tea.
No? What is?
No.
Not athletic?
I mean, I will date athletes, but I like an older man. I don't want to date anyone under the age of 45. If they don't have some gray to them, like some distinguished, like I need to know your 401k is built up.
I get you. Yes.
Yeah.
A suit man.
I do like a guy in a suit, but I also don't care if he's wearing a hat.
I
or
said
a
more of
t-shirt.
like not like a suit, like actually like a suit minded man.
Yeah, a guy like a CEO. Like
Interesting.
I run $1 million company, he should too.
That's very good. I like that.
Yeah.
Well, Braxton Berrios makes a good amount of money, and I'm sure Alix Earle does as well.
Oh, I'm sure she kills it. Yeah, she probably makes more than he does, if we're being honest.
Oh, I'm certain of that because
Yeah.
he is not that great. He's been bouncing around the league a little bit. But Alix Earle, who's 22, by the way, she's not very old.
Yeah.
She's facing some backlash from her outraged fans after she was reportedly seen kissing a then 17-year-old. But this 17-year-old was the grandson of Donna Karan. Do you know who that is?
Designer, Donna
Yes.
Karan? Yeah.
What does she design? Because I'm
Handbags?
spacing on it.
I don't know.
She's it's like a brand, right?
She is a brand. Donna Karan.
Oh,
is a brand.
that's she is the brand. Okay,
I'm sure it's clothing and purses and everything. I'm pretty sure.
I'm obtuse to the different brand names, but so she was making out with the 17-year-old grandson of Donna Karan, which is probably richer than Braxton Berrios.
Yeah, and he's only 5 years younger than her. Let's be honest.
Exactly.
Like,
and Braxton Berrios, I don't know exactly how old he is,
and I'm
I'm certain he's like 25.
I doubt that she had to hold the 17-year-old down to like make out with her.
Yeah,
I'm sure it was pretty
I'm certain
voluntary.
this guy wasn't. I'm just so traumatized.
Yeah.
She wouldn't let me say no.
Right. I mean, I get it that the law is technically like not above 18, but when you're a child yourself, the lines are very blurred when you're that young.
Well, I was curious if it was because of the fact that this person was 17 or if it was just the infidelity that people were outraged about.
I'm sure it's both.
In a blink, you'll miss it in this clip, evidently. We have the clip, yes?
Yeah.
I thought that's what that
I mean,
was.
I'm religiously fucking men that are 15 years older than me and 10 years younger than me, but I'm also 40, so,
Is the 10 year, so the 10 years younger than you, that's just for like
For
sports?
movies.
Oh, for movies.
Well,
that's
and
just-
I've, for my own, pleasure, fucked
Mm-hmm.
a 26-year-old a year ago when I was 38.
Oh, nice.
So it's not like out of the realm. That guy was 12 years younger than me.
Yeah.
But it's just because I'm an older person.
I've done that.
Yeah. I mean,
Which is crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've also gone very much older.
Yeah, same. I've gone 15 years older than me as well. Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't think the age difference should make much of a difference in this one. 22 and 17 is like, and this guy, by the way, is in a very exclusive club where you are supposed to be 21 to get into.
Oh, okay.
So that's another thing that's
Okay.
like raising a bit of a flag for this club. They're kind of like, hey,
Oh, you had this kid in there.
yeah, keep it on the DL
I
how
got
old this
you.
kid was.
Yeah.
But she posted a separate TikTok from her wild weekend in the Hamptons. Also showed her sporting the same distinctive bright orange halter top dress she's been wearing in the makeout clip. Okay, so like there were people
It's like the
saying that it
same
wasn't
night
her.
or
Yes,
something?
this is all this Dumois. You ever read this?
No.
Dumois is like it's almost like Anonymous for girls, you know? Anonymous is like the, they wear the Guy Fawkes mask.
Oh, okay.
All the
okay,
incels are
okay,
like, yeah,
I
get
see.
the emails
Got you.
from Hillary or whatever. And then Dumois is like, it would be that version of it, but they're like, we're going to find out everything about every celebrity.
Okay.
And so they have like all these secret tips. The person who is Dumois doesn't like show her face ever. She just like writes, and then
So
now
she
just
goes
started
in
a
and just
podcast.
tries to find shit on people,
Yes.
basically.
And then it exposes it, and it lights up the world.
Got you.
Did I get that pretty close?
I've never heard of that. So
Oh, wow, look
I
at
don't
me.
know, Josh.
Look at me.
Yeah, I had never until now.
People might be screaming into the YouTube right now that that's not even it, but
Thank
I think
God
some
I
will be
already tell
impressed.
the internet all my secrets. So
That's the thing too. Like I've lived a pretty authentic life myself,
Yeah.
and it's not at all as salacious or entertaining as yours. But I'm pretty open about what's going on with me, so they can't
Yeah.
really. If I ever did get famous, it's like, what are you gonna do? You
yeah.
know?
I've said my most like stories that I probably should never share. I've shared on random podcasts like all over, and I'm just like, if it gets back to my family, it ruins everyone. It's fine.
That's the thing. I talk on here. I say wild shit. I talk about stuff. Sometimes my people that I know, they're like, hey man, what the hell? Why you bringing that up?
Yeah.
And I go, I didn't tell who you were.
My stepsisters haven't talked to me in like a decade, and it's totally fine. But, yeah.
Does that happen often with people in the porn industry? Like, I find more and more though, families are accepting.
I think for the most part, it's more accepted in general, just because like OnlyFans has kind of made like sex work more like accessible to moms and like mainstream people.
Sure.
But yeah, I think it definitely does happen, especially if there's a religious aspect to the home life.
Interesting.
You
Yes,
know?
of course.
So my stepsisters who don't talk to me, they're very religious, and they just think that, what I do is just beyond disgusting, and like, how could I ever? And
They're just stepsisters.
Yeah.
So it's like, who gives a shit? You're my stepsister.
yeah. The only thing that bothers me is I would like all of our family to be together for the holidays, and my
course.
mom has to have separate holidays for like her kids and my stepdad's kids.
That sucks.
Yeah, and we're all in our fucking
It's,
like
like,
late
annoying 'cause you're
30s and
old, yeah.
40s. Yeah. And we're like, come on now. Like everybody is fucking. Like
That's funny too.
So crazy.
I mean, even on a completely like benign level, I think that about certain members of my family too. I'm like, why do you don't talk to this person,
Right.
or you don't talk to that? It's like, why are you being so silly?
Yes.
And all you do is talk about that person.
Yeah.
Just call them.
yeah.
Figure this out. You're 65 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you doing? You're gonna
Yeah.
die soon.
Agreed.
Let's get it together.
Yeah.
It is weird when like brothers and sisters and things don't talk.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and the shitty thing is like they all have kids, and like I've never even met some of their kids. Like, and my mom talks about them. I'm like, oh well, which one is that? How old are they? And it sucks because I'm like, I
Sure.
would like to be a part of like their lives, and my step brother, he still allows me to be around their kids, so like I know his kids, and they'll talk about the other kids, and like it's just so weird. It's
Yeah,
like,
that is. It's just so odd.
Yeah.
I have my mother does that kind of too. She doesn't talk to her family, and you're like, oh, why?
Yeah.
Because of what exactly here?
Yeah.
You know.
My mom did tell me it's because their husbands got caught watching my porn. And
That's hilarious.
But also, I'm like, who gives a fuck? Like, they're gonna watch porn, and
And
if your
awesome, yeah.
and if your sister, whatever stepsister, whatever, however, sister-in-law, however you put it, whatever I am to them, if that person does porn, I'm sure you would Google it. Like,
Yes, you're
just
gonna
to
be
see
curious.
it, the curiosity
Yes.
alone. Like, but it's not like they're like, no, I don't want to fuck you because your sister's so hot. You know, like
yeah.
they're still with you. They're still making babies with you. Like,
And that's
who
actually
cares?
the appeal to regular folk, if you will, or like I guess civilians that aren't actors and actresses in the industry doing OnlyFans is the curiosity.
Yes, like there's so much curiosity with sex in general just because we don't talk about it enough, you know? Which I think, like I said, if we could all be better conversationalists and be honest with ourselves, what we really wanted sexually was to be a lot better place to live.
Sure.
But yeah, it's also silly. Like, I don't know. For me, I'm like, just grow up. Everybody's fucking.
Yeah.
Or wants to be. Should be, wants
or
to be.
wishes they were.
Yeah, exactly.
Or everything else. That's so true. Let's go. We have no more sports stories. It's the dead part of the sports year. It's July. Thank God.
That was a
training's
weird
coming up.
sports thing, though, because Criss Angel, I feel like, should not ever be involved in sports.
Hey, that's
But
where we
there go.
find the fringe things. Alix Earle and Dumois came up in sports.
Yeah, but she's dated other athletes before.
That's true. That's the
So.
only reason it infringed on this and not the news today.
Yeah.
Ba-dum, bum, ba-ba-dum, bum, 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 ba-da-dum.
Now this sounds like this could be the title of a film in which you might have even performed in at some point. Mother-daughter on a 9-hour flight.
I have not made the movie, not yet. But
Well, in this case, a man was actually bothering this mother and daughter. Maybe perhaps he was thinking this could be like a porn film. But he was wasted on this plane. A 9-hour flight, Delta Airlines flight. And this mother and daughter filed a $2 million lawsuit against the airline because of this incident. It got to be sexual harassment down the road as he got more and more drunk. The lawsuit accuses the airline of gross negligence and requests compensation for the two victims. So apparently this man was super drunk. The Delta Airlines attendants served him while he was already drunk, and he was seated next to the plaintiffs, the mother and daughter. 10 vodka drinks and a glass of wine, the documents allege, are what he was served.
wow.
10 vodka drinks on a plane. That's
Okay,
more than hours
When
were in
you
the air.
first started telling the story, I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, why would they ever sue the airline for a drunk guy? But then 11 drinks on a 9-hour flight. And you know this wasn't like his first drink of the day stepping on this plane.
Right.
Like,
He probably got onto the plane wasted.
Sure. I've never been on a plane sober in my life. Why would you? You know?
No, I do all kinds of different things, but I never, like, when it comes to drinks, I guess I haven't taken a transatlantic flight in many years, but even just going across the country, I mean, how many times that's almost like you have to pay the flight attendant, like, hey, I want 10 drinks.
I mean, first class, they just give you whatever you fucking
Yeah,
want.
no, I know that, but I'm saying, like, just the pure volume of how many times they pass by.
Yeah.
What was he getting, 2 every time? It's like, I feel
It's
like the flight
possible,
attendants
yeah.
don't check in with you 10 times on a flight, no matter.
Yeah.
That's once an hour even. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he'd have to catch them literally or like flag them down. There's no chance the drink cart's pumping up and down like that.
Yeah, no, but in first class, I mean, I will tell you, I've been on plenty of flights where, like, I can't even keep up with how many drinks they're serving me in first class. Like,
That's true.
They
First
just
class,
throw
you
them
start
down
getting
you.
a little wild.
Yeah.
I love it. I mean, even when I don't have the desire to drink, I'm like, well, I'm here.
You have to.
Who knows if this will all go away? I
Yeah.
say that every time I'm in first class. I'm
Yeah.
like, they're like, you want the meal? I'm like, I'll have 2. I
Yeah.
don't, you know what I mean?
I do too. If I'm not
every single
hungry, I
time.
get everything. I don't
Yes.
care. I'm paying for it.
Champagne or orange juice? You damn well
Both.
best give me the champagne.
Yeah. Throw some orange juice in it.
Yeah, maybe I'll have one too. So this man is intoxicated. He appeared to be getting drunker and drunker as the Delta flight attendants continued serving him alcohol, the lawsuit claims. The man's behavior was increasingly aggressive throughout the July 26th flight, and he verbally harassed and inappropriately touched both women, the documents allege. What happened to them during the flight was not just a nightmare. It was completely preventable, says the lawyer. The unidentified man, who mentioned that he was from Connecticut, yelled and made obscene gestures at the plaintiffs. So, I mean, he was probably like, I don't know. Can we venture to guess what the obscene gestures were?
I can.
What do you think?
I can imagine it was like, suck my dick.
Like one of these?
Yeah.
Menacingly?
Yeah. Or, I mean, like, I've had comedians that you would know very well drunkenly like try and like put my hand on their cock to like jerk them off, or try and put my head on their dick, or
Oh, I think I know who these are. I think I can corroborate a few tales or two that I've heard from other ladies.
Yeah.
Golly. I hate you always find out about a new scumbag in this industry.
This one's not a new scumbag.
Okay, thank God. It's kind of like you were saying earlier with the numbers thing. I'm like, oh, just a tale as old as time.
Yeah.
All right, thank God we don't have a new one on the loose. Just the same old, same old.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, that is cumbersome in a flight. Now, when you get on, you were saying you get intoxicated on a flight.
Yeah.
So do I, but it's more of like a night. I'm going to CPs now. You know,
Sometimes
the whole time I want to like, my goal usually is for, unless I'm in first class, to be honest.
Yeah.
My goal is for takeoff to be out as the plane's like launching in the air, and then to only wake up when the wheels hit the ground.
Yeah.
So I take precautionary measures to make sure that this occurs.
Yeah, if I want to sleep, that's one thing. But I always fly first class, so I am definitely like,
Living
I'm there
it
to
up.
get my money's worth.
Hey,
Yeah.
I don't hate it.
I like to party.
So,
you know?
have you like encountered people on planes who have made advances?
Because
that's a weird place to hit on people.
I've dated I love airports. I love airport bars. I love sitting in first class. I love the people I meet. I meet so many people. It is so rare for me to get off of a plane and not have a phone number from the person that sat next to me.
That's wild. So
Yeah.
that's like you've dated guys that you've met on planes.
110%. So many times.
How does that? I mean, I guess first
I meet people
class
on
is,
airports
like,
all the time.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not crazy. It's cool. I always wonder because people are like, "Oh, did you meet anybody on the plane?" I'm like, "Meet him on the plane."
Oh my
on
God.
the
It's
zoo that is the
For
plane?
me, like an airport is like a dating app. I'm like, where do I begin? It is so fun.
So
for
what do
me.
you look for? Is it the way like a person carries themselves, obviously, but is there any like airport red flags?
Yeah,
where
don't
it's-
have kids with you and don't have a wife. But
Well,
other than that, yeah. Other than that, it's pretty, easy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if there was like a certain type of luggage. I'm just talking.
Oh, I do
aesthetically
look
that-
at luggage, 110%.
Okay.
I am such a hardcore judger of luggage. It's not even funny, to the point where I actually went on a date with a guy and we were staying at a hotel and he brought shitty luggage and I was like, I will never see this man again. And I made fun of his luggage the whole time, like to his face.
What was it?
It was just like a dirty old, like beat up cloth one with like holes are in it. Like it's like dilapidated, like falling apart. Like, he's had it for like 12 years and like taken it to every vacation he's ever had. I'm like, throw it away.
That's so funny.
Oh my God. I go through so much luggage all the time, but I travel all the time.
I'm
so.
weird. I do have like a nice luggage piece.
Yeah.
But I also have a backpack that I've had since
Oh,
seventh
backpacks
grade.
are fine. Oh, 7th grade backpack now.
Yeah.
I don't know about that one.
Well, it's a snowboarding backpack that I've had since 7th
Okay.
grade, and I still use it. And I go, God, that thing has been all over the fucking world with me, and I forget it because then people are like, your backpack looks beat the hell, and I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, I guess it is. I just don't even think about it, but I
Yeah.
do have to get a fucking new backpack.
Now you do.
Yeah, 100%.
Now you do.
Now I do.
Yeah.
100%.
You're
Now
not-
that I put it out there.
You're not getting fucked at the airport with a dirty backpack.
Noted. I guess
Yeah.
that's why.
Yeah.
I've never had it happen, and
That's
now,
why.
Now, have you ever on the premises? Because the airport to me is like, where do you even do it?
There are bathrooms that are like the family bathrooms that you definitely could. I will tell you, I'm not brave enough, only because I don't want to be put on a no-fly list, because that would end my career in so many different avenues.
Yeah, would they put you on a no-fly list?
I
for
don't
that? It seems
know.
like they should put you on a please fly more list.
Yeah, I just don't want to take any risk. Me in airports, I just kind of like shut the fuck up. Like if I see a problem with TSA, I don't say anything. I just shut my mouth and move along, because I have a very smart mouth. I will.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I thought you were
Yeah.
going to say, like, if I see a problem, I don't say a word. Thought
I don't.
That's not what they.
But
want you to
I
do.
don't.
It's supposed to be you see something, you say something. I think they have those on the signs.
Not
there.
me. I'm like, I'm going to not say a word because I need to get on all of these planes.
So if you have a shoe bomb and you're behind Sylvia Saige in
You're
the line,
fine.
she's not saying. She's like,
Shh,
I
nobody
don't-
say anything.
I got to get to my terminal.
Yeah.
As long as you're not flying where I'm flying.
Or do. I'm actually not afraid of death. That was one thing you said earlier. I'm really not afraid of dying.
Well, I'm sure you're not afraid of it, but why welcome it?
I mean, I'm actually really looking forward to like what's next. Like,
What if it's nothing?
then it's nothing.
So I mean,
that's fine.
I mean, I guess that's true. I won't know or care at that point.
Yeah.
I don't fear it either. I just am like, let's not bring it on ourselves, you know?
Yeah.
And then sometimes I'm like, I wish a satellite would fall onto my house right now.
But I was going to say, I kind of do. I mean, like, not like, oh, I can't wait to die, but I'm also like, I'm such high risk. Like, I'm a smoker, I'm a drinker.
Same.
I have, sex with strangers. I'm so high risk of a human that I'm just like, it is what it is. Like, it happens.
But when you have sex with strangers, you put that on the list. That seems actually like, in terms of the way you do it, I mean, everyone's testing and things like that. Doesn't that seem like it's actually safer than the way I have sex with strangers?
Yes, much safer than how most of the world has sex with strangers. But because my numbers are so high, it's still really high risk.
Interesting. Still of the same things, or is it a different risk that I'm not thinking of?
I mean, just because we're tested, so we are regulation tested every 2 weeks, but someone could do whatever they want in that 2 weeks. They could go down to Tijuana and have a 90-person orgy in the time frame of that 2-week testing, and I don't know about it. So it's putting a lot of trust into your co-stars.
It's like in the NFL, you do one drug test and then they just are like, sick, passed.
Yeah. So you like never really know what you're getting. You have to absolutely trust the people that you're with, but it's still risky.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't even think about that. That's a great point.
Yeah.
And the more the volume obviously increases that risk.
And I've had sex with that one person, but it's again, how many people did they have sex with and so on and so on. It's a spider web and it goes so fast,
Well, this man, despite doing a little to these people, and I don't know what else he could have done. I'm sure he was getting creative.
Yeah.
Despite all that, he didn't get to
9 hours.
He didn't attract them. I don't. You know what I mean? They weren't doing any Mile High. No Mile High Club for you, yeah? Or maybe
no.
Is it something that you'd want to do even?
Those bathrooms are too tiny.
Now, here's a question, because I've heard of this happening.
Yeah.
And these are just normal people. Fingering on a plane seems like it's a little bit easier.
I would totally do that, and I would totally give a hand job or a blow job.
You just get a blanket.
Yeah, especially
a blow
on
job.
like,
how would you do that one without
especially
raising
on like overseas flights when you get the first class cubbies and stuff.
Yes,
that's easy.
Yeah, could you sneak into a bed without anyone knowing?
I don't think you could sneak into a bed.
Ma'am, that's a one occupancy.
Yeah, but I've done a lot of long flights. Australia is like 17 hours. Like the longer flights, you are left unattended by your flight attendants for hours at a time.
And you're kind of in a pod.
Yeah. So you literally beep them to come to you, but no one is walking down the aisles.
Oh, okay.
So you could do a lot.
Now, if you were just in coach on a flight from St. Louis to, Florida, I don't know that you could do the blowjob.
Yeah.
That would be a little like, people are like, what's going on over there? But I feel like people have tried that.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure it has happened.
It's got to be, there's a baby crying like 3 rows back and you're getting a blowjob.
Yeah.
That would be tough. That would be a
Try
tough
and
circumstance.
concentrate.
That's why I never thought the plane would be fun to fuck on, because I would be like, we're in this tube in the air. It's kind of crazy. Like, I don't know, with the bathroom.
No, and the bathrooms are so small.
They're so gross, too.
Yeah. I couldn't.
No, it's like having sex in a porta potty 3,000 miles or 30,000 feet in the air.
Yeah, no, thank you.
I don't think so. So no sex happened in this case either. But the teen got upset, obviously, and a man actually volunteered to switch seats with the teen. However, and sat between the man and the mother for the remainder of the trip, according to the filing. So eventually they had to just separate them. But the flight attendants, no one was really doing anything. They just said to them, be patient and things like that. So I think they should win this lawsuit.
Yeah. I mean, $2 million is a bit excessive for, somebody fucking with you.
Good God. I mean, that means, thank God it's Delta, because I don't need tickets going up any higher. I mean, Christ, these airline tickets are getting out of control, lady. How about you think of the rest of us?
It's expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing is more important than the safety of our customers, says Delta. Well, evidently not.
Well, they landed, so,
That's true. That's what more do you want, folks?
Yeah.
Take a bus once in a while and see how much you get sexually harassed. They'll take their penises out, those hobos.
Yeah, no kidding.
What else do we have here? We have, have you heard about this? And I was wondering if this is a person that might, attract you, but you said you don't like athletes. What about, action junkies? Is that something... It's a red flag. Do you know what I'm saying? Like adrenaline junkies, I guess,
I mean, I'm an adrenaline junkie, so I
Okay, so
like
does that vibe well with you then?
Yes.
What kind of things do you seek when you are trying to get your adrenaline fix?
I mean, everywhere I've ever been, I go hiking, so I just always love going.
Is hiking an adrenaline thing?
I mean, yeah, I think for me it is.
I mean, are you hiking on I could fall to my death here, stuff like that? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
And day-long hikes, like backpack hikes,
Where we
camping
might not
hikes.
make it back kind of things. Okay, that's fun.
Yeah.
It's more of a psychological thriller at the end of the day.
Yeah, and
So
scaling
what about like jumping out of
walls.
planes and things like that?
Heights is a big thing for me,
Oh, sure.
so I don't love jumping.
Even on the hikes, though.
Yeah, but my feet are almost always on the ground. Like my feet are almost always touching something. So
So no bungee jumpings, no
Nah.
Airplanes.
Nah.
Perhaps this man then, I don't know if you would be attracted to this kind of thing because his whole life involves heights.
Yeah, no, not my thing.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this man, he's a French daredevil.
Oh, I heard about this. A guy who
Yes.
like fell to his death.
Remy Lucidi. Yes, that happened, and there's the story.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. I'm just kidding. No, it's just crazy because he climbed up a, 68-story building,
Yeah.
and he fell to his death. The thing that's interesting to me is, like, there was a woman who was, like, cleaning one of the apartments. I think there was an apartment or an office or whatever.
Yeah.
And apparently she heard him banging on the window.
Oh no.
So I was like thinking in my head, it doesn't say in the story, but I was thinking in my head, like, did he just get stuck outside and was just like chilling there and like,
I mean,
well,
look at where he is right there. That's terrifying.
I think
to
that's
me.
of a, I don't think that's of the instance. I think that's just like a photo from another
Yeah.
time. Cause this is what this man does.
That's crazy.
And he has to lie to people and be like, why are you here? And he's like, I'm staying in the hotel. And then he just goes up on the roof and
That's
walks on it.
terrifying. I mean, obviously.
It's crazy. But here's the thing, we talked about this last week with Jason Ellis. He mentioned how he's like, I want to die skateboarding. And I was talking about a comic who I came across in the news that passed away on the road. And other comics were like, oh man, that's a tough way to go. I go, that's exactly how I want to go. Are
Is
you kidding
it?
me?
Yeah.
I mean, I hope I'm still working when I die.
Yeah.
No matter what the age is.
Okay.
I hope it's not like,
You just want to be working until you die. You don't ever want to retire?
for what? Retire from what? I want to be like performing till I die.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, trust me, I'm not doing a lot this month,
Yeah.
and I'm spiraling.
Yeah. Okay.
So
okay.
I can't imagine in my twilight years not having that happen. You know what I mean? Like if
Yeah.
I'm not performing and the clock is ticking down, I'm like, well, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
So that freaks me out a little bit.
Okay.
But if I'm this guy, I mean, the more you do, it's kind of like it's like being a gang member or something.
Yeah,
You say
of
either you're
course.
going to die or go to jail.
Yeah.
In this case, it's like, yeah, each building he climbs, I'm sure he expects at some point.
One of them he's going to fall from.
Yes.
Yeah.
So maybe he went out the way he wanted to.
Yeah, maybe.
It's actually a tribute.
Yeah.
And Pee Wee Herman died today as well.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard about that.
I
Paul
did.
Rubens. I was going to wear my Paul
did.
Rubens shirt, but I can't find it. That guy got the worst rap in the world.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly why. What?
He was arrested for jerking off
Oh, that's
in a
right.
porno theater.
That's right.
Not even like, he wasn't like jerking off to Lion King or something
Yeah.
with there's children around. He
Yeah.
was in a porno film. And if anything, he was, I mean, this is in the 90s.
Yeah.
Those things were going by the wayside already
Yeah.
back then.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he was giving business to this thing. Who ratted him out? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah,
by
I couldn't
today's
remember
standards-
why he got in trouble, but I knew he was in trouble for something. Yeah.
By today's standards, the fact that he didn't do it in a playground, everyone
Yeah.
would have celebrated him, you know?
True.
It wouldn't even have been a news story.
Yeah, I love watching guys jerk off. He could have done it at my house, you know?
That's got to be a good thing to keep in. That's maybe a good, like, Madden attribute. Because I'm sure you're not in the majority of women.
Liking to
Yeah,
watch
like,
men
because some
masturbate.
don't they?
I think most women do, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had the requests on the phone, right?
Yeah.
I always thought it was like just to have something.
I will be in person with someone and I like watching them masturbate while I masturbate. Before we have sex, obviously, but
Sure.
sometimes like not at all. Like I would like to, like I like watching them like please themselves.
It's a good appetizer.
Yeah.
But I thought always on the phone, for whatever reason, I'm like, there's no way that they're enjoying this like the way that I enjoy watching them. They're just using it to have collateral, like I sent you one, now you send me one kind of thing. That's
I
what I
don't
always
know about that.
I don't know why I always thought that. I just assumed.
I definitely love it.
They
I think it's
say
like a
they
huge
like it, but I always
turn
thought in my
on.
head,
Yeah. Because you have to think it's the same reason that you like watching us. You like seeing our physical pleasure. We like seeing your physical pleasure. And for me, I also like take mental notes to watch like how he strokes his cock, if he touches his balls, like how the speed he likes, if he goes the whole shaft or if he stays closer to the head. Like I'm noting all those things for
like
when
a
I'm
scouting
going to come
report.
in.
Yeah. You're getting like a scouting report. You're like, all right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got a 4-2 vertical.
Yeah.
That's awesome. No, that makes a lot of sense. That's
Yeah.
good insight to have for that.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Now, dick pics, unsolicited ones, I'm sure you've gotten a million of them.
Oh, yeah.
And that's like always been such an odd move, in my opinion. I never understood the mindset of sending the unsolicited dick pic.
I'm not against getting dick pics, honestly.
Well, get ready.
Yeah. They're also very different, and that's what's so fun about it.
Well, sure. Yeah, every dick's like a snowflake, I'd imagine.
Yeah, they really, really are. And so it's just interesting because sometimes you get like shocked. You're like, oh, well, I would have never expected that from you, you know?
Interesting. Now, when you get the dick pic, you do always get the whole package, because I would imagine some of them just send the penis, their face isn't in it. But like, wouldn't you want the whole package deal? Because then you get to see what it's on.
I actually just got a dick pic the other day where I told the guy, I was like, don't put your face in it next time. I don't want the face. I don't want it unless I'm like dating them. But if it's just a random dick, like your face is going to ruin it for me. Like I just want to see your dick and I will rate off of that. But if you throw your face in there, now I can't imagine what you look like. And now I just see you.
Interesting.
You know, I like to use my imagination.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I think that's a great place to wrap things up too. No, that was a great grand finale. I love so if anyone wants, obviously Sexy Funny Raw is on all the platforms to watch and listen and view. Do you have anything else you want people to check out?
Not that I can talk about just yet.
I thought you meant.
Stay tuned.
I was like, well, we're way out of the nice boy class.
Yeah,
so
no, stay tuned. Yeah.
But I see it's one of those like you can't announce it yet.
Yeah.
But make sure you check out Silvia Saige on the road if she comes to a comedy club near you as well down the road. As far as me coming to comedy clubs, I will be this Sunday, Burbank, California, the Nitecap. We're doing a fun show. Me, Chase O'Donnell will be there too, I believe. Sarah Weinschenk, Kim Congdon, Johnny Pemberton. Also down after that, Skankfest Las Vegas, the 29th of September through October 2nd. October 20th and 21st, SoulJoel's in Pottstown, PA. We're going to be in La Jolla at the Comedy Store December 1st through 3rd, and around Christmas time, look for me in Tampa Bay. Side Splitters. Those are what's on sale now. I've got more that are going to fill it out as we go, so keep your eyes and ears peeled over to Instagram at Josh_Potter, at J_Potter on Twitter. joshpottershow at gmail.com is where you can send in all your Roach reportings or send in music like Griff Parker did. And other than that, thank you to Alix, thank you to Milo, and thank you to Silvia Saige for coming in. I hope you come back.
Yeah, thank you.
I had a lot of fun. Thank you. And we'll see you next Wednesday right here on The Josh Potter Show.